What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Vengeance here. Today we're going to do a hero breakdown on Thaurissan. A lot of you guys have asked about this guy and how to not die from his own move and etc. etc. So yeah, let's look real quick. Thaurissan, he is red streak. Deploying 2, 3, 4 faction members will result in reduction of overload for all members by 20, 40, and 50. Overload works as there is 100 overload, is a max overload, so 50, 40, 20 off of 100. So let's look at his stats real quick. As far as his move goes, Tremble Before Me is the name of his special. It has a fast charge speed initially. Steals 33% of allies' attack and defense for 5 turns and 25% of their HP. So when he uses his move, he is stealing 1/4 of all of your allies' HP. He's also stealing their attack and their defense. So they are all around becoming weaker. They're 1/3 attack and defense weaker for 5 turns and 25% of their HP. Steals double that amount of stats from red streak allies. So you get the picture there. Fires lightning to the target enemy, dealing 200% damage. The lightning will bounce to nearby enemies up to 4 times. Each bounce deals 180% damage to its target. Inflicts 100% overload on self. So, what I want to say about him mostly is he is not someone to bring on a Titan fight. He is not someone to bring if you only have one enemy. Because it is not his move is not going to bounce if there's only one enemy. So you're going to steal life and steal attack and steal defense from your team, and then you're only going to hit for that 200%. So there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, they trash him and they're like, Thaurissan's terrible, this, that, and the other. Well, Thaurissan's more like a burn you quickly PvP character. He's not someone that you're going to look at campaign and say, oh, I've got one guy to beat on the last round. Let me bring Thaurissan. Because he's not good against a single enemy. You really want that lightning to bounce as many times as possible. I have seen that thing bounce all 4 times and almost take all 4 characters out. It's very powerful, especially in a max level team that you put him in, because that's just more stats that he's going to steal from his allies. Overall, I think he's really a very good character. He's just very situational in what type of situation you're going to bring him into. Mine is at +3. We'll look at his awakenings here. Awakening 1, shield self for 20% of max HP at the beginning of each wave. So that shielding team that I always talk to you guys about, he would be an excellent addition because he will get it right out of the gate. He also can hold the whip for no overload right out of the gate. We'll talk about that in a second. Awakening 2 is max HP, defense, and attack increased by 8%, and he takes 5% less damage. Awaken 3 increases stats provided by weapons and runes by 15%. So all of you Alliance War nutheads out there, you know right away he's going to be exceptionally good in reward for courage. The only problem is he's going to steal his own damn life. Awaken 4 is going to be the same as Awaken 2. That's max HP, defense, attack by 8%, take 5% less damage. And Awaken 5 is inflicts overload effect by 15 upon each skill damage dealt. So, the part with Awaken 5, again, if you accidentally, we'll just say it was an accident because we don't want people knowing that you do this. You go into a Titan fight with him, okay? And you hit the Titan. it's only going to put 15 overload on that Titan because it didn't jump anywhere. It doesn't jump. So if you use that same move in PvP with Awaken 5, he has the ability to hit 4. It doesn't mean that he's going to hit 4. It could mean that he bounces to 1 and bounces back and bounces to that same guy. You could hit 2 to 4 enemies with the move. So each hit from that skill damage is going to increase overload on that person by 15, not him. He's inflicting overload on the enemy. So that's pretty cool. There's not very many characters that inflict overload. And right here we'll look at his exclusive weapon, Thaurissan, level 4. Whenever each wave begins, inflicts 50% overload on the wielder except Thaurissan, so it's a big whopping 0. And restores 60% mana for all other allies. So, he is cha-ching! The Energizer Wimp, in my opinion, is the best weapon in the game. The 60% mana for all other allies is huge, especially in, say, yellow and dark teams because they don't have any way to synergize the team. So it's pretty mandatory if you're going to run a mono dark or a mono light team. And I know there's people out there that's not doing it on dark, but you can level a Sammy up and give him that whip just to hold the weapon. My opinion is if you can get an enemy team out in 3 rounds, that's what you do. You don't drag it out. Anyways, Thaurissan. He's not bad in an all red streak team. He's also not bad in a red mono team in Alliance War. He is bad in a mono red team for Titans. What else can be said about this red haired dwarf? Yeah, he can kill you. I think that's one of the biggest things that I get asked a lot is like, how do I keep him from killing me? Well, don't use his special when your allies have less than 25% life, or he's going to kill them. Another thing that I would say, if you're going to use him on campaign, bring Glacior, or bring you need to bring a healer, because your own team, he's going to do damage to you. And it could be the difference between you winning and losing if everyone loses a fourth of their health because he used his special. So a lot of times when I use him in campaign or such, I do bring Glacior, and I'm even so considerate of the effect of his move that I won't use Thorissan's move for the most part unless my Glacior is already ready to go. So I'll use it and then turn around and use my dragon to get everybody back to 100% health. For him, he's one of those characters that you actually need to pay attention and play smart. Don't play him in every situation. He is very situational. PvP, in the right team, I would have to grade him an A, borderline A plus, but not really. The fact that he does damage to his party kind of stinks. But his hit is usually, it's a whopper. It's a big hit, and jumping between 4 characters is a big deal. He's obviously not great on Titans. Like I said, he would get like the lowest grade I could possibly give, probably like a C to Titans. Campaign, it's situational. If it's a single enemy, he's not your guy. If you're going to have to go against 3 or 4 named enemies at the end of a campaign level, then yeah, he's viable. Just make sure you're not going to kill your team. What else is there out there? Tower. Yeah, I give him like a B plus. Like there's situations where he could be useful in the tower, but there's plenty of situations where there are better options out there. Synergize him with a red streak team, and he becomes a much better character than he is standalone. Like I said, he's not a necessity in mono red. Um,